So, what is up, ladies and gents? Good morning. I hope you're all having an awesome day so far. Well, good afternoon, should I say. This is going to be an interesting video today. Talking more about the Inghams channel. So, I'm aware that it is Isabel Ingham's birthday today, 19 years old. Oh, it was funny. The other day I was watching Family Fizz and I was looking at Mia. And the one thing that really caught my attention was how different Mia is in comparison to Isabel. Obviously they're the same age, but Mia is just so much different compared to Isabel. Like, she does so much more than what Isabel does. Like, you know, she does a lot of the things that you would be expecting Isabel Ingham to be doing at that age, really, to be honest. I mean, let's be honest, Isabel isn't really exactly like most 19-year-olds her age, is she? How many 19-year-olds are travelling around in a lapped-out old van with their parents and siblings? I don't think there's many 19-year-olds out there that are doing that, travelling around Europe in a lapped-out old van, in a lapped-out old Sprinter van, I mean, obviously, I've been looking at the views on their recent vlogs, and obviously since their return since they came back to the UK, whilst they were in the UK, there was that kind of sharp increase in views. Obviously their views kind of sneaked up a little bit, probably because they've been buying a lot of views since they've been back in the UK. I think obviously, they still pride themselves on the fact they're getting over 20-30k views on a vlog every day. But most of those views probably aren't views from actual iFam. Like, I hate to say it, but I think a lot of those views are brought views and hate views. I think if people stopped hate watching, I think their views would be very different, suffice to say. I mean, at the end of the day, like, for a channel that has, the fact that they have a channel that has over 1.3 million subscribers, and they can't even get anywhere near sort of 50-60k views on a vlog most days, shows that there's a real problem there. If you would be expecting a channel that has over 1.3 million subscribers to be getting way more views than what they do, you would be expecting a channel that has that many views to be getting at least 100,000-200,000 views a day. 200k views a day, at least. The fact that their channel is only getting 20 to 30,000 views per day shows that there's a real problem. Obviously, I don't know why people are looking forward to this European road trip, because it's probably just going to be a lot of the same things that they do every year. It's probably just going to be, go to places like France and Spain and Portugal. I wonder if they'll come up with a breaking story again like they did last year. That was hilarious when they came up with a story that someone had apparently tried to break into their Sprinter van. But the problem was, there were so many things that didn't add up with that, with that whole story about the fact that someone had tried to break into the Sprinter van. There were so many things that didn't make sense, that weren't quite right, and there were a lot of things that weren't adding up. And a lot of people noticed that. A lot of people noticed that there were things that weren't adding up with that whole story about someone breaking into the van. It's kind of hilarious. It was kind of hilarious. It was probably one of the worst things they'd come up with. And again, I think it was another attempt just to try and get a few extra views, but it didn't quite work. This is the problem here. They're trying so many things to keep their channel alive. That's what they're trying to do. They're trying to keep their channel alive. But nothing they do is working for them anymore. Like, nothing. It's not the problem. The truth of the matter is, nobody really cares about the Inghams vlogs anymore. Nobody really cares about what the Inghams do or, how they make their money anymore. People don't really care about their channel anymore. Their channel is dying. And Chris and Sarah need to start accepting that. They need to start facing up to the facts that their channel is in a shite mess, and there's no digging themselves out of the mess that they're trying to out the mess that it's in. They've dug themselves really deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper into a hole, and they can't dig themselves out of it. No matter what they try and do and what they try to do, they just can't dig themselves out of that hole that they're stuck in. They're just digging themselves a deeper and deeper hole as time goes on. And they're just making things worse and worse and worse and worse and worse, for their channel. My fear is that something could go wrong and something bad would end up happening, because I fear that they're going to keep getting more and more and more desperate for views, and we're going to see a lot of mishaps. We're going to see a lot, they're going to become more careless. We're going to see them getting more and more, getting a lot more irresponsible, because they're going to that desperation for views. Their desperation for views is slowly getting worse. It's slowly increasing. It's slowly deteriorating. It's slowly getting worse. I can't help but say it, but the future is not looking too bright for their channel. And I know that so many people have said before that the channel was on its last legs, but it's still going. But how much longer? And I don't know how much longer that channel can last for. It certainly doesn't feel like their channel is gonna last much longer. And I think deep down, Chris and Sarah are scared of that. I think they know that their channel is on its way out. They know their channel is on its last legs. But they're scared of having to let go, because it's the only reason for their existence. I honestly don't think that any of them would actually cope without YouTube and everything like that. I honestly don't think that those kids would cope with having to live a normal life, because this is the thing, they've not had to live a normal life. They've never really had. Obviously for the last 8 years, they've been living in some kind of dream world. They've not been living in reality like the rest of us have. The rest of us are living in reality. They can be more out of touch with reality if they try to. I just don't know what else to say, but they are extremely out of touch with reality. And I honestly don't think that's a harsh thing to say. Obviously they've vlogged on last night and the night before. We uploaded quite late, and that's obviously going to impact their view counts as well. The fact that obviously that's what happens. You see when they upload a late vlog, you see the impact it has on their views. It's like, you see how much, I can't imagine how much happier those kids would be if they were in school, which is where they should be, instead of being driven around in a flipping laptop, in a flipping worn out old Sprinter van. It's just hilarious. I don't know what else to say. There's nothing else to be said other than Chris and Sarah need to start facing the facts, and that is that their channel is in a shite. It's basically in a very big hole, and they can't dig it out of that hole. Even Isabel's birthday vlogs. I think, let's face it, even Isabel's birthday vlogs aren't gonna get that many views. Because the birthday vlogs don't get that many views these days. We saw it with Jace's birthday. His birthday vlogs didn't get that many views. Isla's birthday vlogs didn't get that many views. Esme's birthday vlogs didn't really get that many views. Mila's birthday vlogs didn't really get any views. And it will be the same with Isabel. Her birthday vlogs won't hardly get any views. Suffice to say. When I compare Mia, as I said at the start of the video, I've been comparing Mia to Isabel. To be honest, I actually find Mia Fizz a lot more interesting than I do Isabel. To me, I just find Isabel, no offense to her, but I just find her incredibly dull and incredibly boring. There's nothing that really interests me about Isabel. Mia is she's so different compared to Isabel that I don't even think you can really compare Isabel Ingham and Mia Fizz, as they're so different. For a 19-year-old, Mia is very different to Isabel, who's just turned 19 today. And you wouldn't think that Isabella just turned 19, because half the time she doesn't act like she's 19, and half the time she don't act like she's a 19-year-old. When you think about what most young people Isabel's age are doing now, where they're at, most of them, I think most of them would probably be at college, and things like that. But Isabel's travelling around Europe in a flipping rundown or flipping sprinter van with her parents and her siblings. That can't be much fun for a 19-year-old. But it's hilarious. It really is. It really is madness at the end of the day. The end. Suffice to say, the end of the Inghams channel wouldn't come soon enough. I am glad it's Monday today. It's no Ingham vlog day today, and I'm kind of glad about that. As I think we need, that's why I like Mondays, as we get a day off from there, we get a day where we're not having to put up with their lies and bullshit for a whole day. I honestly don't know what else to say. I almost pissed myself laughing yesterday. I was having a laugh, and I decided to post some comments on Sarah's TikTok video that she put out yesterday. And I made a comment saying that their channel was dying, and that they needed to start accepting that nobody really cared about them or their channel anymore. And someone came back to my comment, responded to my comment saying that they were basically trying to tell me that they still get over 100,000 views a day. And I laughed at that, and I said to them, I think you need to go and look at their channel, because if it's like, how can someone tell me, it's like, where'd that come from? They're still getting over 100k views a day. Yeah, right. If you look at their channel, none of their vlogs from the last week have gotten anywhere near 100k views. The only vlogs are in the last 2 months that have probably gotten anywhere near that, or maybe just around that amount, is the Taylor Swift vlogs. None of the others have. The vlog they put out on Saturday felt like it should have been. It probably should have been on Esme's channel rather than the main channel. Last night's vlog was just absolute garbage, like always. This is the thing with the Inghams vlogs. There's nothing that stands out to me about their vlogs. I don't find them interesting. I don't find them entertaining. I just feel like if they went to what would their view counts be like if they went to places that they've never been to before? If they've been to places that they've never been to before, maybe they would get a lot more views. I don't know. I mean, it's like, you know, when they go to a country, they never ever really show the best of what that country really has to offer. Like, you know, and I remember I said that on one of Sarah's TikTok videos once, and she said that it was, and she basically responded to the comment saying that it's not their job to actually show the best of what a country has to offer. I mean, and I bet that obviously it's not their job to do that, but it's like, if you've moved to a country, or if you were going to another country on holiday, wouldn't you want to show the, you know, people that are watching your vlogs the best of what that country has to offer? You know, if they might, you know, it just in case, like, you know, if we're like, for example, if they wanted to book a holiday to that country, it would be nice to see more of what that country has to offer them. But they don't, the Inghams aren't really showing that. And this is the problem here, like, it's like, yeah, I mean, I do wish that the Inghams would show, you know, different things instead of just the same things every time. I mean, obviously, I think there's a lot of reasons for their downfall and the downfall of their channel. You know, I think they need to start facing the facts now, and they just need to let it go. They're hanging on it on. Like, their channel is just hanging on by a thread at this point. You know, they just have to let it go. You know, I know they don't want to you know, to quit vlogging, and they don't want to, you know, don't want to, but I feel like these days they just don't have much of a choice. Because their channel, you know, their channel is in, you know, their channel's shit, and their vlogs are shit, you know, and their view counts often show how bad the vlogs are. I mean, 20 to 30k views is nothing to brag about, really. And as I said, for a channel that has over 1.3 million subscribers, you would be expecting their views to be way higher than what they are. You would be expecting them to be getting a good 100 to 200k views a day, possibly maybe even 300k views a day, you know. I mean, obviously, I watch Family Fits, and I watch Dad v Girls, you know. And I have to say, I do think that, you know, the Dad v Girls, and I do think that the fact, you know, the videos on the Family Fish channel are so much more interesting to watch than the content that the Inghams put out. Like, the Inghams, you know, the problem with the Inghams, like, this is the thing with other YouTubers, is it feels like other YouTubers are really putting a lot of effort into their content, and you can see that these other YouTubers have a passion for what they do, and you can see that they enjoy, you can tell that they enjoy doing what they do, you know. But the problem, as I've said in previous videos, the problem with the Inghams is it feels like they don't really have that passion for vlogging anymore. But they won't actually admit that they don't have the passion for it anymore. But I think it's very clear to see with the sort of content they're putting out these days that they just don't really have the passion for it anymore. Like, there's no... When you look at the content they're putting out on their channel these days, there's just no real kind of effort. It doesn't feel like there's any real sort of effort being put into the content that is being put out on their channel. Like, half the time it just feels like they put a vlog out there for the sake of putting one up. I mean, half the time they'd rather put a crap vlog out there rather than, you know, they'd rather put a crap vlog out there rather than, you know, not put a vlog out there at all, you know. I think that, their channel is in a really bad position. If you can hear some noise in the background here, there is a helicopter hovering about outside. I don't know what the helicopter's. We get that a lot around here. We always get helicopters hovering about over here. But I don't know why we get those, but we do get those quite often. But yeah, I think people need to start facing the facts. I often I look at the iFan and I think to myself like, what would the iFan do if the Inghams weren't plugged in every day? Because it feels like the iFan can't live without the Inghams. The thing that really pisses me off. Why any Inghams not fight their own battles? Why do they always need the iPad fighting their battles for them? It's like, this is the thing, the Inghams don't even need to fight their own battles because the iPad are always fighting their battles for them. But Chris and Sarah should be able to fight their own battles without any interference or any kind of backup from the iFam. They don't need, surely they can fight their own battles. They don't even need the iFam fighting their own battles for them. The problem with, I think, the Inghams, I think it would be very hard for them to have to give up blogging. I think that it's only a matter of time now. I think, to be honest, I hate to say it, but if YouTube released a statement tomorrow and they said that they were demonetising all family vlogging channels and stopping all family vlogging channels from making money, I think the Inghams would be gone. I don't think they would stick around. It's the same way that another family with like Honey Jolie's, Jonathan and Anna. I think they'd be gone as well if they weren't making money from YouTube. I don't think they'd stick around, if they weren't making money from YouTube. Because that's all that, people like the Inghams and the Honey Jolies are in it for. They're in it for the money. It's not about making memories. It's not about, it's not about having a love for vlogging. It's about making money. That's all it's ever been about. I say it's all it's ever been about. Like, I was watching, as I said the other day, I was watching the early vlogs from, back around sort of 2017, like early 2017. And I mean a lot at them, when you look at the channel and it's just Chris and Sarah and the girls. They seem so different to what they do now. Like, you wouldn't think it was the same family. You would think it was a completely different family because they did seem so, even the kids looked so much happier back then than what they do now. I can't help but say that. The kids look so much happier in the older vlogs than they do now. Like everything about them in the older vlogs was so much different compared to the sort of people that they are now. I mean, the thing is, back then, Chris Ingham wasn't really the massive kind of Andrew Tate fan that he is now. This is the problem, is the fact that, Chris Ingham is basically turning into some sort of misogynist. He's basically an Andrew Tate wannabe. He acts like Andrew Tate, he talks like Andrew Tate. A lot of the insults that Chris uses, when he comments, when he's responding to hate comments, only ever seem like insults that have come out of the Andrew Tate book of insults. This is the thing. This is the issue here. Chris is trying to be like Andrew Tate, which isn't a good thing. The fact that this is what has always pissed me off at Chris, is the fact that he idolises someone like Andrew Tate, when he's married with a wife and he's obviously 5 richer girls, and he's such a well-known social media influencer. Yeah, I'm a fan of Andrew Tate, but I'm not a well-known social media influencer. I'm not a man that's married with a wife and 6 kids, 5 richer daughters, 5 richer girls. Chris is, you know, which is why it's so wrong for him to be such a huge supporter of Andrew Tate and for him to be so vocal about the fact that he supports someone like that. You know, it doesn't look good for a married man, and a father to 5 daughters, and a well-known social media influencer to be supporting somebody like that. You know, to be supporting somebody that is as controversial as Andrew Tate. You know, I mean, as I said, I support Andrew Tate, and I believe he's innocent, but it's not so bad for me because I'm not a well-known social media influencer like Chris is. You know, that's why it's so wrong for him to support Andrew Tate, full stop. You know, I think he hates it when people say that it's so wrong for him to support Andrew Tate. He hates being told, people saying that. He hates the fact that people think it's wrong for him to be supporting someone like Andrew Tate. But it is wrong at the end of the day. You know, there's no one, at the end of the day, there's nobody else to blame for the Inghams downfall. The Inghams, Chris and Sarah Ingham only have themselves to blame. You know, and all I can say is the sooner they start accepting that they are done and they are finished on YouTube, the better. You know, the sooner they start realising that YouTube isn't an option for them anymore, and they actually do the right thing and quit. You know, and stop using it as like performing monkeys and hash cows and stop exploiting it. The better. Yeah, people still say, oh, they're still making a decent ton of money. Yeah, they're still making a decent ton of money because they're still exploiting their kids every day. We all know for a fact that if they didn't put their hits out there on the internet, they wouldn't make anywhere near as much money as they are now. That's the only reason they're making the amount of money they're making now, is because they're putting their hits out there on the internet, and they're putting their hits out there online. If they weren't doing that, they wouldn't get hardly any views. They wouldn't get hardly any money. You know, people don't. Let's face it. People, this is a fact. This is an honest fact here. People are not watching the vlogs because they want to watch Chris and Sarah. People are watching the vlogs because they want to watch the kids. And a lot of these family vloggers know that. A lot of these family vloggers know that people are only watching their videos because they want to watch the kids. You know, I think the same argument can be said for a lot of family vlogging channels, that if they didn't put their kids out there on the internet, they wouldn't be as successful as they are. You know, they wouldn't be where they are now. You know, they wouldn't be able to do any of the things they're able to do. You know, they wouldn't be able to, spend money like it's going out of fashion. You know, people say, oh, you're just jealous, blah, blah, blah. Why would I be jealous of 2 people who are exploiting their kids for money? And why would I be jealous of 2 people who can't accept that their channel is dying, and who can't accept that maybe YouTube just isn't for them anymore? You know, I won't ever be jealous of them. You know, it's like I'd rather be living the life I'm living, than living the life they're living, constantly on the run, constantly looking over their shoulders. You know, it's like, it's like, I'm surprised that, they obviously can't stand the hate they get and the negative backlash they get. But if they were to quit YouTube now, they wouldn't have to put up with any of that, would they? You know, things would be so much different for them. They'd be able to do whatever they want and live their lives and not have to worry about those negative comments. You know, do they ever wish, is that not a life they wish they could live? Do they not think that quitting YouTube would be it would be easier for them? Because let's face it, quitting YouTube is basically their gateway to an easy life. You know, quitting YouTube is their, you know, if they were to quit YouTube, they wouldn't be dealing with negative comments every day. They wouldn't be dealing with, they wouldn't be dealing with trolls and haters every day. As a troll, if they weren't doing YouTube every day, if they weren't doing social media, no one would have anything bad to say about them, would they? You know, but then in a way, I often think to myself, like, maybe, there is a part of me that doesn't want them to quit, purely because I love reading the Tower Life forums every day, and I love reading the comments that people say on there. You know, I just think to myself, like, if the Inghams quit, it means I won't get to read the Tower Life, or if the people on Tower, read what the people on Tower are saying every day. It won't, it means I won't get to read their comments, because they won't have anything to say about the Inghams. You know, obviously, a lot of the things that the people on Tattle Live say really do make me laugh. You know, I honestly, some of the tattlers are actually hilarious. You know, I mean, that they're my kind of people, because they're the sort of, they're people that can see who's sincere in them for who and what they really are. That's why I like the people on the Tattle Life forum so much, is they can actually see who's sincere of who and what they really are. You know, they know that what who's sincere are doing to their kids is wrong. You know, they know that, they would probably say a lot of the things, I've said in my videos. You know, I think they would probably have that same opinion, that they're only doing this for the money. You know, but it's about time they started doing the right thing. You know, it'd be so good not to have to see their greedy, selfish, evil, cruel, smug faces every single day. You know, I don't know how much more of them I can take. I don't know how much more I can take of the iFam. Because both the Inghams and their iFam are becoming completely insufferable at this point. You know, and that's a big part of the reason why I want them to quit. Because at least if they were to quit, we wouldn't have to put up with the bloody iFam every day. We wouldn't have to put up with the iFam defending every single thing they do, every single thing they say and do. We wouldn't have to put up with the iFam condoning them all the time. You know, it would be, YouTube would be a much better place without the Inghams. You know, the sooner they quit YouTube, the better. Goodbye, good riddance, I say. You know, I want them gone from YouTube, and I think any normal person would want them gone from YouTube. The only people that don't want them gone is the iFam. Because the iFam can't bloody live without the Inghams. You know. Like, the iFam wouldn't exist without the Inghams. You know. The problem, I have to say with the iFam is it just feels like their whole lives revolve around the Inghams. Their whole lives revolve around, the Inghams. That's all I can say. It's true, their whole lives do. It seems like their whole lives do revolve around the Inghams. You know. I mean, they're also quick to defend Chris and Sarah most of the time, but the truth is, I don't think Chris and Sarah really honestly give that much of a damn about their iFam. You know, honestly, do they really care that much about their iFam? Well, I don't think they do. I don't think they care that much about their iFam at all. It has to be said. You know. on the day the Inghams all it a day and decide to quit YouTube, which is coming sooner rather than later, the iFam will be on their, the iFamilies will be on their hands and knees, crying their eyes out, because they won't get to watch an Ingham vlog every day. They'll be literally sobbing if they didn't get to watch an Ingham vlog every day. They'd be bawling their eyes out, man, really they would. They'd be more devastated than anyone else. We wouldn't be that devastated, but the iFam would be. And I'd love every second, and I'd love every minute of it. It has to be said. So yeah, that's it for me today. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'll see you for another one very soon. Bye bye.